born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes. Let me see.
I thought it looked fine on that. I think.
I changed it on the computer the other day. Pisses me off. We need new phones, by the way. Our phones suck. They're like years. These are 10 years old, these phones.
I was gonna say,
And we always use our phones for stuff. Like, we need to upgrade. We need to go in, see what kind of.
Upgrading will cost us $100 a month.
Not necessarily.
Necessarily.
We'll see. Somebody said you get free Hulu if you upgrade phones, so it might be worth it.
From what company?
Verizon.
We gotta go in there and just. Well, then we'd be switching companies too. We gotta
Doesn't
go
that
in
suck though?
somewhere.
Because then you go in, like, you have to plan 3 hours to get a new phone.
Yeah,
Because by the
least.
time you go in, figure out what plan you want, figure out what phone you want, yeah, and then they try to, like, you just talk about what deal you can get, and then what.
Our
they,
entire plan right now, right?
and then
is
getting used to a new phone.
$120, right?
It's cheap as heck, yeah.
So, no matter what, getting new phones, we will pay at least $220.
No, that is what it is.
But is it?
I don't know.
How bad is your phone?
Pretty bad. It's slow.
What do you mean? A slow phone? Like
The
when you're
battery
talking to
dies
people,
so
people
fast.
hello.
No, like, I just
Amber."
can't get to my apps fast enough. It's like all about, you know how the world is today. Like, I need it now.
How fast are you trying to click on your apps?
Uh.
They do not. You seriously have a delay in app opening up?
Probably. At this
What do you
point.
mean probably? You either do or you do not.
Honestly, I just hate this big crack on my screen because I think one of the kids had it, dropped it, and shattered it. So it's just really pissing me off. Because I tried to send you an email the other day, and I tried to hit up in the corner to
Yeah,
send,
mine
and it
doesn't
wouldn't send. So then I had to text you.
And maybe you should have just.
Maybe we
texted
should
them
just go to
first.
Apple. You think that should be our next?
I
phone?
would go to get an iPhone probably.
Yeah, an iPhone.
Probably, I would.
I don't know.
Then we would be paying $300 a month.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, and then I hate learning new phones. It sucks. It's like
iPhones
you
are actually
gotta-
they're super easy to work.
That's what I hear, but
but
I don't know.
that might be just because I've had one for
Right.
how many years. But
We'll have to see.
I think-
Anyways.
I think I'm okay with our current phones.
Well,
and saving
I
money.
might go get a new one sometime.
All right.
that could be our craving.
Craving. What phone should I get?
What phone? Jay
Oh, I know it will be Apple. Apple's
for
gonna
sure.
light it up, or iPhone.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know.
I'm on Team Android for life. For life.
Mm.
Well, that was a good cold start.
was gonna
Welcome,
start
athletes,
it.
into the gym closet where we talk about what cell phones we should get every single week.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah,
It's
no.
gonna be a recurring thing if I don't go
I was
get
gonna
one.
say,
We don't
this,
do
is
it
going to
fast.
be, this will
This
be a
might-
segment. This will be a segment if we don't get a new phone.
So
But-
tune in next week to see if we got new phones.
But no, welcome in. We, if this is your first time, we talk about how to optimize life, how to live life like an athlete, and what that means is how to be successful both in the gym and outside of the gym. We believe that the mission of Krave Gym is to live life like an athlete. America needs athletes, and what that means will help you in every aspect of life. So that's kind of what we talk about. Today we have a bunch of things. We have, this week we have an awesome event coming up, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But we have our word of the week that could be a double.
Ooh.
We haven't decided yet.
We haven't decided.
We
were
don't know
really
what's
prepared
going on.
today. We have a double word of
And
the
then we
week.
have-
That means we were
we have your
really prepared.
fitness myth, and then what else?
craving.
Or craving? You have a craving?
Well, I mean, it's okay. It's average craving. It's not like the
Don't get too
greatest
excited.
thing ever, but it's pretty fun, I think.
All right.
We don't know. We don't know
You
what
guys
it
don't
is.
know. Don't you just
I-
hate it?
I
You
was
don't
gonna
know
say.
what it is.
I'm okay with that too.
All right.
What do we want to start with?
Well, let's start with
Events.
We can start with the event.
Or does that tie in with our word of the week?
A little bit.
We'll go there next then.
Okay.
So the event that we are having this Saturday is from 4 to 7. It is an opening celebration, so just getting together to celebrate Krave West Des Moines being open for 8 years, and then Krave Waukee being open for 3. So a good time to just get out of the workout environment and just come meet people, because sometimes we show up to the gym, work out, and then we don't hang with teammates and meet people. So this is a perfect opportunity to do that. We are also, I think this is the part you're most excited about.
Yes.
Gonna have a
Chili
chili cook-off. So Zach is already. I'm
Wah,
sure-
wah, wah.
I'm pumped.
Chili,
sure-
boom.
I'm sure-
Door prizes, boom.
Can you put little booms in there?
Yes,
Okay.
I should. Yeah,
Okay.
I could edit the video.
I think we
a
actually
bit, yeah.
could, yeah.
Okay.
And then what else? What other booms do we have?
Door prizes.
Already said it.
Oh,
Boom.
Sorry, I was.
Vendors, boom.
There's a huge
Bring your own beer.
TV. Ooh,
BYOB, boom.
really any alcohol, actually.
Bags,
That was
there's gonna be
that was a
bags.
whole
Bags,
discussion.
Yes. No workout. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's like the most exciting thing for people. Yeah, everyone's like, oh. Remember we used to do the challenge, or we used to do the championships every season, and like nobody would come because we had to do the workout before we go out to the bar.
You're right. Yeah.
And then like the one season we were like, let's just try. We were like in our meeting like maybe let's just try like just drinking, no workout, and then
And
like
everyone was there.
we like
Everybody showed up.
quadrupled our attendance for that one. I was like, that's
Perfect.
weird.
So yeah, we will have the top 3 Chili's will get a free month membership. We'll be raffling off a 55 or 50-inch TV.
50-inch.
50-inch. Okay. Inches matter. 50.
What was that side glare? Jiminy.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
I just try to be humorous. My goal on this podcast is to be more funny.
I like
Did
it.
I do it?
funny.
I think
You
I
did, yes,
Okay,
yeah.
that's my only funny thing I have for this
Funny
whole
and,
thing. That
funny
was-
and hurtful.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was just like, I didn't know your response.
That could be. Yeah, I suppose that could be a compliment.
Like if you're gonna be
people
like, just
don't
get out,
know.
like you're literally done with this podcast. Like I didn't know if you'd be like, okay, it's your time to
Yeah.
go. So I was just waiting for your response. But
I guess you
TV
married me, so that could be. It might be a compliment.
Yeah.
I'll take it as that.
Yeah, yep, either way.
Bingo.
TV and then Perspire Des Moines is gonna be here, so I'm excited about them. So they have infrared saunas. So you
Free
go
month.
a free
Yes,
month, yep.
free month.
So
Door
a value
prize,
of 125.
3 month.
Yeah, so that'll be awesome. Fresh Fit Meals is coming, so they're gonna have some door prizes as well.
Do
They're
they
just-
make a chili? We should have their chili.
Ooh, they could. I'll message them and tell them.
Message
They
them
do
and
make a
ask.
turkey chili there. So I should have them
Yep.
definitely be in on that. And then I think that's about it. And then we're also going to be making our own protein shakes too. So we will have those
Yes.
available. So
That's exciting. I'm
Chili
excited about
winners
that.
get free month. Whoa.
protein shakes.
Yep.
Fancy protein shakes too.
Yeah,
they're gonna be
fancy.
cool.
They're going to have sprinkles on them. You guys
They're gonna
are
be
just-
super
yeah,
cool.
Sprinkles on 'em?
Sprinkles, yeah.
You decided.
That's the
sprinkles?
selling part is the sprinkles to make them
Yeah,
look fancy.
Make them look fancy.
And then people are like, I got to have this in my life.
Because people are always like, we'll always talk to people after the session. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go wherever.
I'm going to go buy an $18
and
protein
buy
shake.
my $18 shake
like
from blank and no free ads.
Pretzels are or pretzels. What am I?
Protein shakes?
No.
Sprinkles?
Sprinkles.
Sprinkles.
Why did I say pretzels?
I have no idea.
Anyway, sprinkles do a ton.
Yeah.
To a dish or.
100%.
But I feel like I
But
actually
do they actually have taste? Have you ever?
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, if I was to like eat a sprinkle, I would say that it probably has either no taste or honestly, like
No.
if anything,
Like
even
very
like a
little.
weird, like a
Like,
weird taste.
I
Like
think if you put some in your hand and you take it, like it tastes almost waxy.
yeah, that's what I was gonna
like
say.
a
So like,
sugary waxy.
Right.
It's like a wax.
I would almost
don't
say
know.
it would
It's-
almost like
So is it?
hurt. the
Are you
taste.
tasting? Are you tasting the feeling?
Yes,
of-
100%.
It's like the
It's
crunchiness.
yes.
You're so like
It's more
the
of a
benefit
feeling that you're
is like
looking.
the
I don't
benefit is that you're tasting the prettiness of this
Right.
thing.
Well, because like we were talking about earlier, it's more like when people go to these places and buy their $18 protein shake, that's really no better macro wise than
What ours are
take a
gonna
protein
be.
powder.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's the experience of going there. You know, it's the same as like a Starbucks or like it's having the fancy cup and
Right.
like. I talked about this the other day. Like I have a pair of Oakley sunglasses. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
my Oakley sunglasses they're not $200 because they're super cool sunglasses. They're super cool sunglasses because I paid $200 for them.
Right.
Like the fact that I paid a lot of
It is
money
funny
for
though.
them
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
funny
is
though
what
because
makes them
like
cool. Like
so like that's an interesting thing too. So like I'm the same way, but I have one pair of really nice I don't remember the brand, Armani Exchange
Yeah.
glasses or whatever. Those are and then I have a bunch. I go through like other
Right.
glasses and
Right.
or other sunglasses, and I lose every other sunglass except
Yeah.
Except
for
for
the
those,
expensive
yes.
one. So there
and
is
there's
something
something to be
and I've
said
had it for
about
like
that.
5 years.
Right.
Oh,
So I've probably gone through $200 worth of
right.
I would agree with that because
cheap ones.
yeah, because I mean I'll go and buy $5-10 cheap ones. So like go on vacation and stuff
Right.
like that. But like whenever I wear my Oakleys, I like keep them in my car and I put them in the soft case and then I put them in the hard case.
Yes.
And then I like lock them in my safe.
Value. Yep.
Like
Yep.
so
It
it
is.
is true. Like
You just
but with the
take better
protein
care of it.
shake, it's different. You can't keep your protein shake for 5 years.
And I think once people see the simplicity of like, yes, it seems like it's a lot by the time you clean your blender up, get the ice, do everything. But the simplicity of it really is
It's
about
really
that.
not
It's like you just
difficult,
throw the stuff
Especially
in there.
when you can like the new smaller
Magic bullets.
Oh, yeah, like we have a
bullets
magic
and stuff,
bullet
the
or-
single
yeah.
serving
So
ones
easy.
where you just have your shaker cup basically, and you throw your scoop in, your ice cubes in, your water in, and then what else? Some other add stuff that you'll
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
explore.
good.
It's gonna be good.
But
Yeah, like
so
I
fun
did
for
the
those
math on it
things.
one time. It's like I could make like we were talking about like a chocolate peanut butter smoothie, and then make it taste really good, just like they do,
Yeah.
for like $2.
Isn't it?
And it takes me
crazy?
30 seconds to make.
It's like
Right.
2 times there. You could buy 1 tub of protein.
Yeah, it's insane.
And that's 30
It's really
servings.
crazy. It's the experience, though. Boom.
Mind blown. So yeah, so we have a cool event coming up. Everyone is invited. I've been telling people this: if you come with 50 of your friends, with the understanding that you will somehow split the door prize, or you'll pay them for the door prize, you're most likely going to win the door prize.
That is really accurate.
Like that,
yeah.
if you come with 50
Chances
people,
are high.
Chances are very high that you will. So the rugby team is planning. They need a new TV for their.
That would be cool.
For their
Like a clubhouse.
clubhouse.
Yep.
And so they were talking about coming with 20 guys, and I was like, if you're going to win these door prizes, you're going to have to come with 20
Right.
of your family members and friends to compete.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And so I was thinking that if you show up, you'll get a ticket for the door prize, but you don't have to be here to win, right?
You do.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not letting someone walk in the door and
But
leave.
they'll still, like, my thought is, like, they still stop by to support us and, like,
They
celebrate.
did.
But
So
did they
if
stop
they
by
can
for
only
2
do their-
minutes to walk in and put their name in the door prize
Yep.
and then leave?
Yep. I'm not.
That's not support.
We
But
won't.
what
We
my
won't
thing
make
is,
them.
like,
We're
some
not
people
gonna
have
make
other
them-
stuff going on.
Nope. Priorities. This is the number one priority
Alright, I'll let
in
you
your
do it.
life if you want that door prize. We're not going to make them. We're not going to do it at the very end.
Okay.
But we'll do it in the middle. But we're not going to. You can't come at 4:00, leave at 4:10, and get a TV.
We were just talking about how
Also-
we expect certain things
Yeah.
from Krave
Right.
athletes. There are
These
certain
guys are hard
expectations for
asses.
Krave
Because
athletes.
because the point of this is to celebrate.
Yeah.
And is 5 minutes of your time celebrating?
If you went out of your way to be here for 5 minutes to celebrate,
I would appreciate you.
Okay.
And I would be very appreciative of you showing up and showing your support. But
not
not enough.
Not appreciative enough
to
for a
celebrate,
TV, that's for
to-
sure.
To get a TV, that's for sure. So
All right, whatevs.
it we'll do the drawing for door prizes throughout. So we will start with lower door prizes that you have to be there for, and
Okay.
then we will start at 5, and every half hour let's do a door prize
Sweet.
drawing.
got it.
So we'll have several door prizes, but we'll have by 7 o'clock the TV is going to go out.
Something else I was gonna say is if people
Or
have
by
like, if you want to sit, like
6:30.
bring some chairs or whatever those folding chairs that you can.
Yes, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Just
We
so
could
people-
fill the
like
turf with
lawn,
folding
yeah.
chairs.
Bring your tailgating material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
like
maybe
it.
I'm gonna post on that page to remind.
That's a good
people.
idea.
So then you can sit instead of because in that small area we're gonna have people. Some people might want to stand, which is totally fine.
We'll bring all
Some
of
people
ours,
might want to lift
but we only
Sit
have
while they're
lounge
doing
up.
it.
Yeah, they might.
potentially.
Just sign the waiver.
I don't foresee it.
Sign
Some
the
people might.
I don't know. The chili might just, you might get a hot chili that like, hey, wait, I think I can hit a PR on my
or
squat.
too many
True.
people drinking drinks and then thinking they can.
That could be dangerous too. Yeah, we should probably honestly fence off the weights towards the end of the evening.
Right? Yeah, I think we'll be all right.
And
Look.
then,
We could do
Yeah,
beer
sure.
miles.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
oof.
Chug a beer and run a half mile on the curb.
On the curve, so
That would be
in
fun.
reality, like 3 miles.
That would be fun. So it's going to be an awesome event. We're super excited. We are, we're doing as much as we can for this anniversary to update the facilities. So we didn't get it done, but we have a couple really cool things coming to each location that we will that we will surprise everybody with. We wanted to have it done by this, but due to other circumstances, we haven't been able to. But which electricians are super busy at the end of the years.
What?
If anybody knows electrician, we've been able to get a couple quotes for some projects that we're doing, but I've been trying to do it since the beginning of December, and it seems that for all of December, I didn't get any responses, and then started to kind of trickle in towards the middle of January. But I wonder if like
maybe they're just
super busy,
or they take like the holidays.
That's why I'm just why I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like you need to bleep that
in the
word out that
comments.
you said there, like the type of person that's, because we don't want to spoil too much of what's happening.
Right.
Oh, I'm okay with it.
Oh, all right.
That could be a lot of different things. I
That's
think,
true.
right?
There are a lot of things with.
Good.
Electricity. A lot of things take electricity.
That's true.
I guess.
We could have like a blow up. What are those
Bounce
things
house?
called? Bounce house.
Good.
Yeah.
For part of agility
Yeah.
training. Now we're definitely not because you ruined it. So.
Or I'm previewing it. Who knows?
No, yeah, I don't know. But
That would be fun.
how's the flooring? Is that coming in?
I hope so.
Oh my god.
They said 8 to 10 days, and that was 12 days ago.
Okay, so did you call him?
I've not. What is today? Wednesday. So we have
2 days.
3 days today,
What?
tomorrow,
You
and
go-
Friday.
Oh well.
You don't
today's-
count today?
No, I thought you were
Today's
going to
the
count
day.
Saturday.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, and-
Saturday
and
till 4.
Saturday morning,
Oh, here we go.
yeah. So now 4 days.
Well, okay, you do you.
I hope
just
that
stresses me out. I'm
it does very much. Yep.
That stresses me.
So we were with some of the extra flooring that we were doing. We are short a few tiles, and it bothers me.
Just like a
extremely.
tiny little area too.
Just a
It's
tiny
like
little
so
area
close.
that we don't have covered with the new flooring that we have.
There was a cool thing I
yeah.
saw one time, actually, speaking of that, where people, I can't remember where it was, but like a place was getting a new floor in, so like all the people there like took a Sharpie and signed the floor
Oh,
underneath.
nice.
I don't know that our landlords would
Appreciate that.
but
Well,
I don't care.
Yeah.
We should do it.
hopefully they don't listen to the podcast.
they don't.
And if they do, they know I don't like them. So
That's fair.
so we've had meetings on this. I'm not secretively disliking the landlords. I've been public about it, and they know why. You know why.
That's hilarious.
There's a what movie is that where at the end this chick comes in, the guy opens the door, she punches him in the nuts, and the only thing that she says is "you know why" and runs away.
I have no idea.
Funniest thing ever. Yeah, Google that for me. But that is hilarious. And if the dude knew why, then I mean, more power to
That's
her.
fair.
Yeah, it's fair. All's fair in love and war. Yeah. So, kind of talking about our celebration and celebrate is the word of the week. So we'll get into the word of the week. The first word of the week is celebrate, and on our we're talking about celebrating and taking time out to celebrate 8 years over at West Des Moines and 3 years. Did you ever find it?
No, that's what happens in Vegas, but I don't know if that's.
Yeah, that's
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, play that scene. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not,
I
but
think this is it.
so let me see.
This is it.
Yes, No,
Can
you
you
can't.
hold it up?
So everyone
Yeah.
can see.
I think. Yeah, I don't think we can actually do that. Or we'll get.
Yeah, this whole podcast is going to be taken down now.
You know why.
You know why. But we're talking about celebrate. So the big thing that I think a lot of people forget, and I do this a lot, is celebrating the little things on your way to success, on the way to your goals. Make sure that you're celebrating the steps that it takes to get there, because those celebrations lead to the next step being accomplished. And so I know we've talked about this before. I don't know if there's a different
because-
word that we had
I
in
don't
the
know,
word of the
because
week.
I
or
had
what
one
we
of my
had.
nutrition clients I was working with, and we just set monthly goals for her. So 1 month she could buy herself a pair of leggings if she tracked every day, or like
Krave athlete leggings?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And then like tracked, you know, if she was coming to the gym 3 times a week every week, then she could buy them or whatever. So,
Nice.
but it's good because it held her accountable because she was like, all right,
You
this
want
gives me
that.
something. Because I think sometimes we look so far at the long term, and when we're not there, there's no celebration happening because it seems so far away.
Right.
Or,
And I think I just saw this somewhere too, is if you don't reflect on your accomplishments and celebrate your accomplishments, however small they might be, maybe it's just showing up to the gym, which is a great accomplishment. Maybe it's, you know, having a gym open for 8 years. If you don't celebrate those things, then the grind gets harder.
Right.
It gets to the point where it's like, okay, I'm always, and I'm super guilty of this, you're always reaching for the next thing, but you never take a second to say, oh, look at all that we've done, and look at these little things that we can celebrate along the way, and just have a good time. Because I think the thing that we all forget is you know, life in general is finite, and having you know, if you're always chasing the next thing until you die, like, what kind of life is that?
Right.
So you have to take that time to acknowledge, and we're not saying go overboard and you know, throw a birthday party for
everything,
you know,
right.
every little accomplishment that you have, but there are things that I think that you need to celebrate, and you need to give yourself credit for, so that you can continue being motivated and pushing for more success.
right. Because like even with this location, it's like, yeah, when we first started Krave, and our vision still is to have more Kraves open and change more lives, to, you know, allow more opportunity for people to have careers that they love and stuff like that. And so we're not as far as we thought we would be in 8 years, but we need to celebrate what we've done here, you know, and all, like being open, a gym being open for 8 years through a pandemic. I mean, that's a big deal, you know, because a lot of gyms close after 5, you know, a lot of small startups close down after 5 years.
In general, I think
in
business
right.
is like 2 years
for
entrepreneur, small business.
So it's just remembering those things and how far we've evolved and stuff over the years too. And
And then you get to hang out with, you know, the people that helped you accomplish those goals, you know, and thank them and celebrate them as well. And for us, I think that's the biggest thing for us celebrating this milestone is to not just celebrate, you know, 8 years of you know, doing hurdles and ladders and cones, but 8 years of being able to have this community and this team together that has really bought into our mission as a whole, right? And so that would lead us into word of the week number 2. Word of the week number 2 is buy-in, and so that, you know, I think that's what we are celebrating ultimately is
sorry
buy-in.
to interrupt. I have a meeting.
You have a meeting? Oh yeah.
But my craving,
Oh, yeah.
you guys can bring it up, is songs from 2014, so 8 years ago, like your favorite song from 2014,
Okay.
so I can make the playlist.
Nice.
It's incredibly
So-
specific, but it makes sense to
Incredible.
take
Yes.
years ago.
Yes. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
So yes, so we'll talk about that in a second. But the buy-in, you know, we're celebrating that buy-in. So our athletes have supported us, and we've been able to have the success that we've had as a gym and as a team, and get, you know, thousands of. What I look back, and it's funny because we have had thousands of athletes that have come through the doors and gotten great results. And so having celebrated their buy-in to the system is one of the things. And I think one of the big things that you have to, as a coach and as an athlete, and as a gym owner, you know, all of these kind of things, everything comes down to buy-in, right? And I think that one thing that I personally like to train our coaches in, and our head coaches try to filter down to our assistant coaches and also then to our athletes, is the buy-in of the program. The why you're doing something is so important, and if you don't buy into the program, then it's just another day, it's another Wednesday of going to work out, right? And the reason I think that we've had 8 years of success and 3 years over at Waukee now is that the buy-in is there to the program and the bigger overall goals and overall system that you are a part of as a team member at Krave, right? So you are bought into the vision of living like an athlete, kind of the overall umbrella, right? But you're also bought into, these are 4 things that I need to worry about: my agility, my endurance, my strength, my striking. And so buying into the seasons and buying into what we do programming wise is definitely something that helps you have success. And knowing why you're doing that is our job to transfer to the coaches. And if the coaches buy into the program, then the coaches can then help the athletes buy into why you're doing the things that you're doing. Because if you've ever I'm sure in the corporate world there's if you've ever watched Office Space.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever watched Office Space? So the is it TPS reports that they?
I think
that
that sounds right. Yeah.
So the reason, like, if that person that had to do the TPS reports every week or every month or whenever the hell they have to do it, if they knew that report was super important, what the purpose of that report was, and they bought into why that needed to be done in order to be successful on all of these other things, they wouldn't have bitched and not done the TPS reports.
Right.
But the problem is, and this goes for your job, this goes for as an athlete, your workouts, this goes for even as an athlete, a specific movement that you're going to be doing, is if you don't buy into the program and the overall mission, then you can't buy into why that TPS report is important. And if you don't think that it's important, you're not going to do it. And if you do it a couple times, it gets to the point where that's the last thing on your priority list because you don't see the purpose in what that is. And if you understand the purpose and if you understand the reason for doing things and why doing that little TPS report is not only going to help you be successful, but help your entire team be successful, then you're excited to do that. And you feel like you are the purpose of doing that activity is really, really important to the entire system, right? And I think that's why, as coaches, our coaches have to buy into the program and know this is why we have our athletes do X, Y, and Z, right? This is why we have our athletes do 4 to 6 reps during strength season. It's because of these different things, and we have to make sure that as head coaches or as owners, we're explaining. As a brand, we need to explain to our coaches, this is why we have our athletes do this. And then the coaches can then relay that message to the athletes and say, hey, this is the buy-in. This is the reason that you need to buy into this. And this is your why. This is the purpose of this movement. It's not just a TPS report that doesn't mean anything. There's purpose to everything that we do. And if you do the things we're asking you to do, you're going to be successful. You're going to be living like an athlete, which is ultimately going to be your best life and the best physical shape that you can be in, the best mental shape that you can be in, and working on these different things to help you. And it all stems from buy-in, because if you don't buy into it, you're not going to want to do it. It's going to be a chore. And when anything becomes a chore, you may be okay at doing it for a little bit because you have an ingrained self of a work ethic that is ingrained in you, or a habit of doing something, so you can do it for a little bit. But the longer that you don't buy into it, the less quality you're going to put into that activity, and then eventually to the point where you stop doing that activity because you had never bought into it in the first place. So that's the biggest thing, I guess. My question to Zach as a head coach would be like, what, in your opinion, what's the most important aspect of like buy-in when you see it from either other coaches that you're helping train or from athletes, and what, someone that buys in versus someone that doesn't buy in?
Yeah.
How much more, what's that difference?
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of, obviously words that we talked about, but I think buy-in is one of the most important things that we've talked about in our word of the week, just because we don't always at Krave necessarily do things like the most prevalent way that's out there in the group fitness industry, like
Trendy.
So yeah, exactly. So many places, like I'll have people come in and say, well, why don't we do it? Why don't we do a session every single day? Or why do we only do 3 sessions a week? And it takes a lot of buy-in for people to, when I tell them, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of science out there, and give them an actual breakdown of why doing it that way and hitting 3 sessions a week or doing things a certain way works better for them. When going to some other place, they can say, well, more sessions is better. It's a super, super simple, not a lot of, purpose behind that, just the simple more sessions are better. Well, no, it's not. But it's very easy to create like almost a fake buy-in to that, if that makes sense, I guess. So it's super important for our athletes to buy in. Like you said, I mean, that starts with coaches as well. If it's something where, and I think that's what I love about our coaching staff that we have right now, is everybody truly does believe in the way that we train. And I think that it's something where if they didn't, it obviously wouldn't work out with them. Right. But everybody's super, super bought in. Like you said, it trickles down to our athletes. Nutrition is another one that I was kind of thinking about too, where it's kind of the same thing where, when we talk about tracking macros and we talk about, the long-term process rather than the short-term results. Like, if you go out and you do a keto or you do one of these trendy diets, it's super easy to create like this fake buy-in for that because it's very trendy. It gets you very, very quick, easy results, super fast. And then by the time, like the example that I like to use for some of our athletes even is, if I'm a coach that, sells keto stuff or sells like the keto diet, it's super, super easy for me as a coach to come in, say, hey, do this super easy keto thing. Just don't eat carbs. That's super easy in the first place. Right. Secondly, you see really good results for the first 2 weeks because you lose a bunch of weight right away. And then by that time, I've got your money, I'm out the door. And then when you inevitably gain all that weight back, then I'm like, well, it's your fault because you started eating carbs again, or stuff like that. Yeah. So it's super easy to kind of create this fake buy-in.
And it's interesting too with that, like, kind of the next shiny object, right?
Right,
Being attracted to like that shiny object that everybody else is talking about.
Right.
That's very easy to get drawn into.
Right.
And that buy-in that you have with that is more of a crowd-funded buy-in.
Right.
Which, to be honest, I wish that we had that trendy. We need to find something in our brand that is that trendy, flashy type of.
And that's always the hard thing that
message.
I kind of tell people too is that we don't doing things the way we do and training like an athlete and tracking macro and doing the things that the way that we do them, they aren't like that super trendy, quick fix and it should be because it's effective and it gets you results long term and it's. Obviously the way that we believe in what we've bought into as the best way to do things, but it's harder to convince someone to put the long term more into focus and doing things the right way and doing things, the way that
sustainable.
Exactly. Doing things the way that, there's research and there's science behind when over here I can flash this like shiny, thing and be like, oh, but this is the trendy new thing right now. And everyone's like, oh, I want to do that. And then I want to do the next one. And then I want to do the next one. Right. So it's just very interesting. And so to kind of circle back to your question though, the athletes that I think that, if I can, the ones that pop right into my head right away that, have had a lot of really, really good success with us at Krave are the ones that ask questions, as a coach, as a head coach, and when I was an assistant coach and, from talking to all of our assistant coaches right now, we love it when athletes ask us, why are we doing this? Why should I do this way? Like, why are we doing this movement? Like, it's not just a simple, well, you're doing this movement to, hit your biceps or train this muscle or whatever. We, as athletes, I think, we train movements, we train, so I love,
it fits into the day, it fits into the season, it fits into the year.
There's a plan behind everything. And so I love when athletes ask questions of, why are we doing this movement? Why is this season the way that it is? Why should I, take this supplement or should maybe not take this, whatever.
And to be honest, if the answer, if you're going to a gym and the answer is like your parents because I said so type of answers, those are the ones
that's bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you can't, like if your coach can't tell you or your trainer, if you're another gym can't tell you why you're doing something, like leave. Right. Like that would be why. Then why should you buy in? If your coach, your trainer doesn't know, why should you buy in?
Exactly.
So that's why I think that we obviously, want and look for coaches that are going to be bought into the way that we do things. so that way they can set the precedent to have our athletes buying the way that we do things, and then it's been proven with our athletes that have been here, and have had a lot of success with it, obviously.
And I love the fact though. So the funny thing is, like, as long as it may take to get athletes to buy in, because it's not a quick fix. It's a future. It's a long-term success model. It's funny because the coaches, I can get a coach to buy in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is scientifically based. It is
right.
periodized. It is planned, and the science is sound. And most of our coaches have that background of an exercise science.
Well, that's exactly how I was. I mean, I've told the story before, I think, but this is what I did. I mean, I graduated and I started at Krave a week later. And like when I was interviewing and when I was looking at stuff online and everything, like everything that I learned in my exercise science, kinesiology, biomechanics, all these classes that I took in college, like everything that we do here lines up exactly with what all my professors with their PhDs and like all these professional strength coaches say. Yep. So I'm like, wow, it's and other places. That was one of the things too that was always interesting to me, how when I was taking my courses in college, I was like, well, why is it that all these other gyms in like the general population are doing things this way, and all my professors and all of my coursework is saying to do things this way? Like there's just this disconnect, and it just didn't make any sense, So then like when I came to Krave, obviously it was kind of like this like light bulb moment where I was like, maybe something does make sense. You know what I mean? So
no, that's cool. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so buy-in and celebrate are two things that we want to work on this week. One way to work on celebrate, action steps. Come celebrate with us. So we will be Saturday, 4 p.m. at Krave Gym West Des Moines. We will be celebrating 8 years and 3 years for Waukee. And as far as buy-in goes, some action steps that can ask questions. You can be thoughtful and mindful of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and ask yourself, are you taking these bright shiny objects like and like a barracuda, right? So I want to think of a different animal, because there's a podcast that I listen to that someone says there's a podcast I listen to that he makes fun of people that do like trendy, like Instagram, TikTok type things, because he calls them barracudas, because I guess barracudas are shiny objects.
I think I've heard that.
Right? So, but I don't want to copy him, so I want to think of a different one. But anyway, so with that, think of why you're buying into things, and make sure that there's a reason why you're buying into it, and not just because it's a shiny object, and kind of reevaluate some of those things. But let's talk about the craving real fast. Amber will be posting it on social media. We're going to be doing a playlist for the entire celebration, that from 4 to 7 or whatever, we're going to be playing music from the year 2014. I have not looked at music from the year of 2014, so I have no idea kind of what that era or what that year sounds like, or where that was. It's interesting in my life, because that was like an interesting time where I don't think I was listening to a bunch of music. I was out of college. We just started Krave, obviously, so I'm sure our playlist. I'm sure when I hear these songs, it'll be like, oh yeah, I listened to that a billion times the first year we opened, because
and I think like music's kind of a weird thing too, where like I always see like the Facebook videos and stuff that are like, these songs are turning 10 this year, and I'm like, holy cow,
isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Some of the stuff I was like, if some of these songs that people would say from 2014, I'm sure I'm gonna like be like just baffled by, as far as like how
that's what
they're
8
years old.
So she will put up a vote on Krave Gym, so keep an eye out for that, and we will get those set up and get a playlist put together for the event. Let's see, do you have to leave by any time? Nice.
Nope.
Let's get into our Mythbusters.
Yes. Myth for this week is spot reduction. So,
nice.
For those of you guys that don't know, spot reduction is kind of the I don't even know what you call it, the term, the fake made up term, I guess, 'cause it's not real.
Yeah, it's what they call
for trying to like target an area of your body to burn fat on. So like, again, it's one of those things where I don't even understand how it makes sense because I obviously know it's not real. But
right. Yeah, no.
But like the theory behind it is like, okay, I want to burn fat. Like a popular area is like your triceps. All women always want to burn fat on their triceps. So I can come in, I can do a bunch of tricep push downs and tricep extensions and kickbacks and a bunch of stuff, and all of a sudden my triceps are gonna have no fat on them because all that fat on my triceps are being burned when I'm doing those tricep extensions.
Right.
And unfortunately, as much as people would like it to work, that's not how fat loss works.
Yeah.
So fat is basically just a stored energy in your body that comes from it's not just coming from fat that you eat. It's coming from, fat, carbs, and protein and alcohol. If you're overeating on any of those. Basically just a stored energy in your body where if you're in a calorie deficit, your body needs that extra energy that you're not eating from somewhere, so it takes it from your body fat stores. Unfortunately, it doesn't just take it from wherever you want it. It takes it kind of from, just across your entire body. There's obviously, one of the things that, people will notice typically is, people are going to hold fat. Different people are going to hold fat in different areas. So there's, android and gynoid are, a couple of the scientific labels for, people holding fat in different places. Men and women
the thing
are
you might
usually
see,
gonna.
The thing you might have seen in this is like pear-shaped
Right,
body
or
or
an
an
apple-shaped.
apple-shaped body,
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the reason that you do that, there's a lot of hormonal reasons where you store fat, and in that storage, of course, you store fat in different areas. So you might, have the first place I put it and the last place that it goes away is my stomach, and I think a lot of guys are in that. A lot
Right.
of women are see more of a hip gain or a stomach gain. So it just depends, and that's different for everybody. So that used to be a popular tactic in marketing was that, blast your belly fat,
Right.
Workouts
Right.
where, people are doing abs and shit, trying
Yeah.
to like lose belly fat.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people love to think, I'm going to come in and do a bunch of sit-ups and,
Right.
planks and stuff that, I think is working my core, which, again, it does work your core, but just because you're working your core muscles does not mean that you're going to be burning body fat in that area.
Right.
So
So the thing that also is interesting too is you have to, so the way that you burn fat is in its entirety, but the way that you store fat is in certain areas. So if I have, and I'll just use grams because it's a little easier to think about, they're actually measures of energy. So they're actually calories that you're burning, which makes sense, right? But if I use grams of fat as body fat as in weight, it's a little bit easier to explain. So what I would see is, okay, say that I burn 3,500 calories. Let's say that is, how many grams is in a pound?
oh shit, I don't know.
I don't know either. We need Amber here Googling, but okay. So
Well, I'll look it up here.
yeah, look it up real quick. So just for numbers' sake, say that I lose a pound of fat. That's a pound of body fat, right? And in grams, that is
453 grams
okay,
in 1
453 grams, right? So that means that I lost 453 grams of body fat because I'm down a pound. So that if I took out body fat of my body and I used it and I weighed it, it would be 450 to be easy, right? So that doesn't mean that you cannot lose that 450 grams from your stomach or from your legs or whatever. That 450 pounds or 450 is a ratio, right? So if I have more fat in my stomach or in my arms or whatever, that's where that ratio is going to lose. You're going to lose everything equally, but the percentage equally. So I might see that my arms get shredded first, and I might think like, oh, I my arms have veins in them and they're lean, or my shoulders can see striations, but I still have a gut. That means I must be doing something to lose my shoulders first. No, that just means that in that ratio, you might be losing, 10 grams of fat here, 10 grams of fat from everywhere in your body that stores it, but you're going to have less on your shoulders, so that's going to seem leaner first, right?
Right.
And then some people might be different than that. Some people might have might store their fat in their thighs and not in their stomach. So maybe they get a leaner stomach look, or you can see abs, but they're at a higher fat percentage still than I am, and I can't see my abs. And why is that? It's not because they were doing more sit-ups, they have lean. It's just because it's stored at a different spot. So no matter what, when you have no more fat on your arms or on your legs or anywhere else, that then will pull from the spot that you are only storing that stuff. So, or that fat. So like for me, in my bodybuilding career, right, I've done this a bunch. So probably 2010 is when I started competing. So I've probably done, 6 years of having relatively normal amount of body fat to being very, very low body fat. And so I've been able to see where it seems like I lose it, but you lose it from everywhere equally.
Right.
So it's funny because like, I always think like, okay, I get to 5% body fat. That's when I really start seeing my lower abs. And that's when I get rid of my belly. Right. But that doesn't mean that I'm still not losing fat from my legs. I'm still not losing fat from my arms, because there's still that body fat in there. And then it's funny, if you get that lean, you start seeing the effects of losing all of that body fat equally from my legs, then my stomach. And when I get abs, then I don't have striations in my legs yet, because I'm still holding body fat in my legs. And then I continue to dig deeper and get leaner. I'm still losing from my stomach, but then my legs finally show striations in my legs. And so it's interesting to see that your entire body will always lose body fat until you're at next to nothing. And
right.
That's what if you watch like a bodybuilding show, that's what oftentimes you're seeing on stage. But those different stages make me see that I'm not, like, I feel like people have this perception, which is a myth, that like I hold all my body fat.
Right. So, like you have fat everywhere. Yeah. Like people always say that, where they're like, oh, I'm this body shape, so I hold all my fat in my stomach, and I don't have any fat in my arms or my legs.
Right.
No, you do.
Yeah.
Again, it's a ratio. Yeah.
And so when you start losing that, you may hold more in your stomach, so you're going to be losing more as far as the grams, or the more weight gets lost from your stomach and less from your arms, but that's just because that's where you hold it. So it makes it interesting, but I can see where perceptually, if you don't know that's what I think is a myth. And the problem is all of these myths are advocated for by somebody online. And so when you have someone selling you a belt that is a belly blasting belt that makes you sweat more and lose belly fat, like, it's ridiculous.
And that's where it goes back to the whole buy-in concept too, because if I go back to it, like, if I picture myself as like a salesman, if I was to go up to someone and say, here's a belt you can wear that will vibrate your stomach and burn body fat, and you don't have to do anything, and your stomach will get super lean. Right. Or on the other hand, I can say, here's like a scientifically researched and scientifically backed program that you come in and you do, and you put the effort in, and you burn, and you put yourself in a caloric deficit, and you do all these things that we know are right. Like, if I'm just going up to Joe Schmo on the street, like, they're going to be like, I want this belly blasting belt. And that's easy. That's easy to sell, and it's easy to get someone to buy into.
Right.
So that's where like all my freaking frustrations come from.
It's interesting. That's what you fight at in the fitness industry, and you do it over and over and over because there's always that next product that is just feeding on and being successful because of the lack of knowledge or the trusting nature of the general population, you know. And then, like you said, then they sell it, they're out, and by the time that 1,000 people realize that this doesn't work, there's 1,000 people that have belly blasting belts that are sitting under their bed that they'll never use again, and they, one person got rich off it. So it's sad deal. But that's why ask the questions, find a coach. If there's not a Krave next to you, guess what? We have online virtual stuff too. So you can always reach out to us, and you can be a member of the team whether you're in the Iowa area or not. But if you are going to a gym, just ask your coaches. Make sure that you're vetting the people that you're trusting with your results, and the team that you're a part of should be able to answer a lot of these questions. And if they can't, then it's probably time to find a different team and a different to buy into a different program, because if they can't answer these questions, or if it's one of those where it's just like, I'm your coach and I said so, that's oftentimes because they don't know the answer, or they're selling you something that doesn't work, and they're just manipulating the system. So on a happier note, because I feel like it's so frustrating, and it gets to a point where it's like almost a negative. The fitness industry can be so negative. Oh,
very.
I feel like you have to almost turn off that like general population Instagram bullshit fitness fitspo shit. Yeah. And then like get back into the positiveness of Team Krave Gym and the science behind what we do, and the great results that everybody are getting from this. So back to that, we're going to celebrate that on Saturday. Hopefully we see everybody on Saturday. Do we have anything else going on right now?
I don't think so.
All right, let's get out of here. I hear Amber starting the session, so we're going to get probably a loud interruption if we don't stop. So thank you guys for listening. Remember, you're an athlete. Live like it.
Born an athlete, you'll die an athlete. It's in your DNA.
You're an athlete. Live like an athlete so that you can be successful in life.
You're an athlete. Live like it.
ANA, America needs athletes.